So I've been thinking a lot recently about the whole console war thing between the Xbox versus the PlayStation. I'm not talking about just consoles alone, I'm talking about franchises in general. It kind of brought up one particular question. Do exclusives really matter? And do they really, really matter? I know a lot of you are like, yeah, definitely, Zeph. No, no, they don't, I wonder, does it really matter? Because you would think that the PlayStation would have outsold the Xbox 360 by now. And before you guys jump on that particular bandwagon, that useless one that you guys jump on all the time, let me just tell you something right now. No, outsold in 2010 or outsold in 2011 or outsold in 2008 or whatever, that don't count. Who cares? Really? Who cares? We are talking about total sales. No one gives a crap monkey patoodle about some freaking, oh, it outsold in 2009 or 2010 or 2009 and 10. But I will tell you this, PlayStation 3, without a shadow of a doubt, has some of the great franchises out there. God of War, Uncharted, Little Big Planet, you know? The list goes on and on about some of the great franchises they have. But the fact of the matter is that they have yet to go ahead and take that second place total sales mark. Why? Why? This kind of brings me over to a particular, situation with, ironically enough, Microsoft and Bill Gates versus Apple and Steve Jobs. I remember when Steve Jobs, well, it was said that Steve Jobs actually went ahead and confronted Microsoft finally and he said that you've been stealing our stuff behind our back. Microsoft replied, no, that's not true. The fact of the matter is that we actually got it from the same exact place you got it from, which is Xerox. Not only that, but we have more permission to go ahead and do it because of the simple fact that the guy who actually owns the patents, who used to work for Xerox, came to work for Microsoft. Therefore, we've had more permission to go ahead and use it than you have, which does answer the question of why you got to go to the upper left-hand corner and hit the X to deal with your programs, and you can't even close it from using that X. That might be the reason why, patent issues. But anyway, um, Steve Jobs in the end said, we're still better than you. We got better stuff. And so Microsoft turned around and replied, or Bill Gates replied, you don't get it. That doesn't matter anymore. And you kind of got to sit there and wonder, was he right? Does that apply to this timeline? Sit back and think for a second. Maybe it's not exclusives that are real culprit here, but maybe it's just franchises. Rather, I'm sure maybe features. Not franchises, but features. Are the features the real reason why a system needs to sell? Because if that is the case, of course, the Xbox 360 is just littered with features. Some features we won't even know. Like, seriously. There's, what is it, like 4 different kinds of video chat. There is cross game chat. There is party chat, which, by the way, are 2 different things. I know someone thought they were the same thing. It's not. But they do kind of work with each other. It has more apps than the PlayStation 3. It has more, even the Zune. Zune is actually better than the PlayStation 3's which video store, which kind of surprises me really, because number one, Sony wasn't even trying to have a video store until later on. I mean, why have a video store if you have Blu-ray? That doesn't really make any sense. You're kind of defeating your own purpose. But at the same time, unless Blu-ray is not going to make it, or unless you really understand that Blu-ray is a flawed product. That's pretty much how I get it from it. But not only that, but then why would you go ahead and, like, I don't understand how Sony, someone who has a TV and a movie, studio, does not have a better infrastructure, a better system, a better program than Microsoft, someone who is not even into multimedia, whose biggest accomplishment in multimedia is the Windows Movie Maker. So you kind of have to wonder, why why is it that the PlayStation 3 has yet to go ahead and outsell the Xbox 360? Maybe it is the features. Maybe the features are the real key. After all, let's go ahead and talk about online. Without a shadow of a doubt, there is no comparison between PlayStation Network and Xbox Live. Let me tell you right now, if you are going to say, well, they're the same thing, you're in denial, you need help. Seriously. There is no, seriously. I actually have a multi-platform game here that I actually bought. WWE 12. I actually bought this one because I enjoy, the wrestling games, right? So I played it on the PlayStation 3. Do you know out of 20 matches, I've had only 2 good matches? Yet at the same time, on the Xbox 360, pretty much all the matches, with the exception of one, were good. You know, and for the record, they were the same exact Cat 6 that I had hooked up. Not even a Cat 5, guys, a Cat 6. You know, so having seen that was the same wire. That's by the way, for those who don't know, that's a LAN cable. Just in case you don't know what a Cat 6 is, that's a LAN cable hooked up to the same exact router and the same exact port on the router. You know, so and if you're going to try to give me some troubleshooting steps, that pretty much, you're not helping the situation. I know someone was like, "Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that." Well, why do I need to do that if the PlayStation 3 is supposed to be the most superior platform out there? That doesn't make any sense. You know, PlayStation 3 is better than Xbox in terms of online. You just have to do this and this and this and this. Oh, don't forget about that. And you got to do this. And if you don't do that, you miss that step. You got to start all over again. Really? But it's the most superior platform out there. I don't know. I'm just starting to think really hard now. Now, I mean, I'm happy with the franchises I have. The exclusives, if you will. I love them all. They're great games. You know, going out there enjoying Mod Nation Racers, which is hilariously fun. It's no Mario Kart, but it's still fun. But you gotta ask. You really gotta sit there and ask: are the exclusives really, really, really the thing that drives the total sales, the total success of a console? To be honest, I think it's yes and no. I think that yes, exclusives are one thing that do drive sales. I do think that. I don't think that's the only thing. I don't think it's the biggest thing. Hell, the Halo parties are legendary. I remember El Presidor doing a whole thing about chips and dip when it comes down to everyone playing Halo games. You know, fact of the matter is though is that despite the chips and dips thing, the fact of the matter is that you don't have too many people sitting together playing PlayStation 3. You know, so in other words, chips and dips, as he called it, is actually kind of a good thing. But when it's all said and done, though, when it's all said and done, I think it's really who caters to the best selling franchise that really matters. In this particular instance, would be Call of Duty. Call of Duty, whether you love it, whether you hate it, or whatever, is the leading franchise. Is the leading franchise. And the fact of the matter is that despite, the leading most popular franchise in terms of online gaming, should I say. Let me stop that because, we can disrespect the Mario in this house. This house is a Mario house, okay? Just letting you know right now. This is a Mario house. Nonetheless, though, that's exactly what the situation is, man. I think that whoever caters to the most, the most, the top franchise, the top online popular franchise, a pop franchise, if you will, or pop chise, whatever you want to call it. Probably should go ahead and label that because everyone seems to want to take my sayings lately. But anyway, the pop chise. Pop chise this year is in fact, been a while now, Call of Duty. So who has the better Call of Duty? Well, that would be Xbox, having their more superior infrastructure when it comes down to the party chat thing, and as well as just Xbox Live in general. Of course, you can't forget about Madden, who also has, who uses Xbox Live as a great infrastructure to go ahead and have superior online gaming. And I think that's exactly where everything goes right now. I think that is the reason why Xbox 360 continues to outsell the PlayStation 3 and it continues to be more superior, continues to have more success than a PlayStation 3. Right now, as an Xbox gamer, as a PlayStation 3 gamer, I've enjoyed both consoles. But I have to say, when it comes down to it, who has also evolved more? Who has evolved more? Shadow of a doubt, Xbox 360 has evolved way more than a PlayStation 3. Seriously. Even though the PlayStation 3 has had way more updates, it has been the actual Xbox 360 who has had the more superior updates. Hell, PlayStation 3 has lost features since we originally had it. Xbox 360 has soared through the roof with features. Not only that, but when we got other things that just kind of surprised me, such as the new dashboard, which, quite frankly, I love. You know, the new dashboard is great. I wish they get rid of those goddamn advertisements, but you know, nonetheless, it's still a great, 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 great system, and it seems to be the one that's already obtained the second place line. It's not going to beat the Wii this year, but definitely not. But without a shadow of a doubt, with all the evolution that's come out, there's one problem with the actual Xbox 360, and that's the lack of franchises, the lack of exclusives, if you will. And it's the fact of the matter is that they have so many franchises. That's why I changed exclusives, because they have plenty of franchises. You know, give me 1 second. I want to go ahead and just kind of talk on this really quick before I end this video here. Let's go ahead and talk about Rare alone. Just alone. The British video game company called Rare. You know? Let me go ahead and just talk to you about a list of games that are actually not tied to any particular company and or system that actually could be on the Xbox 360 but are not. Let's start off with Wizards and Warriors. That could actually go ahead and be on. That was published by Nintendo, but it's not owned by Nintendo. How about RC Pro Am? Remember that one? Hell, bring back California Games. You know, how about Cobra Triangle? Snake Rattle and Roll. You know, all these games. Oh, how about and I didn't know this was made by Rare, ironically enough, I guess. Remember Ivan Iron Man Stewart Super Off-Road? Apparently it was made by Rare too. I did not know that. I knew it was published by Tradewest, but I did not know that. Battletoads. Did you know Battletoads was actually made by Rare? I knew that, but I was wondering if you guys knew that. No, seriously, I didn't know that. So we already got a couple of things going on right now. They're great, great, great franchises. Battletoads will be a fantastic franchise that Microsoft does not take advantage of. Killer Instinct, you know, that's another one that people have been waiting for so long. Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark is a fantastic franchise. They need to start paying attention more to that. You know, how about Cameo? Remember Cameo? Elements of Power. Remember that game? Great game. But no, what has Rare been doing? Connect Sports, Banjo Kazooie, Banjo Tootie, Viva Pinata. So Microsoft, like seriously, you know, despite the fact that you're having great success, and you are, how about be smart and actually go ahead and release some of these games? You know, how about go ahead and use Rare for what they were intended to be? And that's someone who's supposed to bring the system to the next level. Well, I guess technically they are then. I guess technically Rare has been doing exactly what they did for the Nintendo 64. Granted, a lot of people are like, no, 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 you know, they make great games. That's true, they make great games. But overall, what they did was they took the Nintendo 64 and they brought it to the next level. And quite frankly, they've done that with the Xbox 360 as well, just with the actual OS and not games. That's something to think about too. You know, maybe for those, maybe we actually don't think outside the box as much as we think we do. Just food for thought.